Okay, here we go. Tacitus, Silver Age Latin. Very brief, usually in his writings. 6. The invalid old man. This would be Galba. Okay, so now we've got some nominatives. Titus Vinius and Cornelius Laco. 1. The most worst of all mortals. The other, Cornelius, was ignavissimus, which is a superlative. Comes from being weak, igna, so it can be used if you're weak in battle, it means you're cowardly, or if you're just in generally weak, you're also ignavious. This old man, Galba, he was burdened, honoratum, with the hatred of the disgraces, looks like of this first guy, the way it's written here, and they were a bit destroying this invalid old man who was burdened by the contemptness of his inertia. Okay, so inertia is a bit like ignavious. So that's how it affected Galba. Okay, so the journey of Galba was tardum, was slow, and cruentum, a bit bloody it looks like. Interfected, some people were killed. Kingonio Varone, who was the consul designate, who was going to be the consul, was one of the people killed, and Petronius Turpiliano was the other, who had once been a consulare. So one was about to be consul, the other had been one. These people were killed. He, the first one, Kingonio, was the Socius of Nymphodii. There was a guy who got killed yesterday, so he was an ally of him. And Hic, the other one, this Petronio fella, he was killed as a general of Nero's. They were unheard, so in a court of law, I'm guessing, and undefended, just as innocents. They perished. The introitus, because it's fourth declension, so the entry into the city of Galba the old man was trucidatus. A lot of people have been butchered, it looks like. So many soldiers, tot millibusses, who are inermium, they didn't have arms or swords or something at the time, they were unarmed, had been cut down. These are ablatives here. Enforced means it was unlucky via the omens, so it was very bloody as we saw, and unlucky because of this butchery of all these soldiers. And those themselves, even who had killed, they were formidulosis, they were full of dread or fear or something. Inducta Legione Hispana. So inside the city, a Spanish legion had been inducted or let in, which was remaining, which Nero had conscripted from a fleet. So I guess they'd once been sailors. Now they're in the city. The plana urbs, the city was full with an unusual amount of people in the army or military men. Many to this number were from Germany, it's a country, Britannia, the island, Illyricum, wherever that is. Those whom the same which Nero had chosen and praemissos and had sent ahead to the gates of Caspiara, I guess that could be a proper noun with a capital C, and the war that he was preparing against these Albanos people. He'd record these in the crushing of the Coeptus, the thing begun by Vindicus. So crushing them, it's like a Vindicus had been starting something, so these men were called back to crush his rebellion or whatever he'd started. Ingens material, there was huge material for no novus rebuses, for revolution, new matters or new situations. So that they were not favouring any one particular person, aliquam, with their favour or support was prone or leaning, thus it was prepared to a dative, to anyone who was bold or dentai. So all the soldiers were standing around, not for any particular person, but they would favour whoever was the most bold, it looks like. 7. Forte, by chance, something congruently happened at the same time. It was announced the cades, the slaughter of these genitives. Claudius Macrius and Fontius, whoever the hell that is, Capitionus. Righto. Okay, so this macri is a second declension macur, like in pua. So this guy, without a doubt, been stirring things up in Africa. This nominative, Trebonius Gerutanius the Procurator, by order of Galba, and Capitio in Germany, who had began something similar, or when they began something similar. These are people killed. Cornelius Aquinas and Fabius Valens, the legates of the legion, had killed this person. So Procurator killed the guy in Africa. Cornelius Aquinas and Fabius Valens killed Capito in Germany before they'd been ordered, antiquam uberentur. Furant. There are those who believed Capitio, who was foul and stained with avarice and lust, they thus thought that he had abstained from all thought of revolution, but that by the legates who had been persuading him to start a war, after they were not able to compel him or impel him to do it, they had composed this ultro, probably means of their own accord or further, they had composed this crime and trouble for him. And this is accusative. Galba, by the fickleness of his nature, of his ingenium, or lest it should be scrutinised any deeper, also, modo acta, this was just done, and because he was not able to change this thing being done, he had approved of it. Okay. Ceterum. But, utraque cades, both these slaughters were accepted. Sinistra usually means as a bad omen, or badly. And once the Principi, this emperor, was invisoed, he was hated, either because he did good things or bad things, this carried an equal amount of invidia, hatred or envy, probably hatred here. Cuncta, venalia. So everything was for sale, venalia sale. The liberti, these are free men, they were praepotent. It's like prae here is like per, means very, very potent, very powerful. The hands of the slaves were of sudden greed, just as they hurry when they have in the house of an old man. So usually when you have slaves and the owner's old, they looks like they suddenly get greedy. The same evil, eadem mala, was of this new palace, I guess, or all as what used were kingly halls. The palace would be the Palatine or something anyway, with this new emperor. So they had the same bad ways and greed, equal in its seriousness and burdenness, and but not with equal excuses for such a thing. The age itself of Galba was in Rizu for mocking and loathing to those who were accustomed of Nero's youth. What have we got here? It's a strange place for a comma. As is the custom of the common people, they were comparing the form of the emperor and his beauty of his body. So I guess they mock Galba because he's old. Those people who loved Nero for his youth and beauty. Okay, 8. And this indeed was what was happening here at Rome, there at Rome. Okay, so that comma was just for that little section. So just as happens in such a multitude, this was the habitus, the appearance of the feelings. You might want to say animus has got a bunch of meanings. From the provinces, Cluvius Rufus was in charge of Spain. Via Facundus, an eloquent man, and in the arts of peace and of war, inexpertus. Righto. Okay, so Daily Dictionary, animus. So it's probably the feelings and what was going on. Even pride's part of it, of what was going on at Rome. Okay, so he was expert in the arts of peace, but he was not an expert at war. The Gauls were obligated still over the memory of Vindicus, who had failed and been killed, and by a recent donation of Roman citizenship, it looks like. So they were admitted into Roman citizenship, and in posturum, so in the future there was a lighting of their tributes, what do you call that, a lessening of taxes or something. Nevertheless, those proximate to the German armies, those near the German armies, these city-states or areas of Gaul, which were near the Germans, they did not have the same honour, or they were not considered of the same honour, or didn't hold it. And certain even had ademptus finibus, that had some of their regions taken away or lost. They had an equal pain or dolor when they were measuring out their own injuries and the advantages that the other alien nations had. And that'll do for the day.